Hello YouTube and welcome back to the channel. I am doing some work on the E30 today in preparation for a bit of a long trip that I have coming up. I'm heading over to Melbourne, Florida for the next BMW Invasion event. Now, I am due for an oil change and it occurred to me that I don't have a video on this topic for the E30. And that is strange because I do have one for my STI as well as the E39 M5, if you can see it back there. And this is the car that started the channel, and an oil change happens to be the most common maintenance task you can do on a car. So I figure, let me make sure I just record this and take you guys along with how I do my oil change. More importantly, I wanted to take this video also to discuss my choice when it comes to the oil I use. And I know this is a highly debated topic online and a very long-standing discussion. So I just wanted to share what I use and why. So follow me while I get this oil change real quick and stick around so we can talk about that. And the car is already up on the quick jack. I have my oil catch can ready to go, as well as a tray to avoid any spillage. And let's just get this drain plug out of there and start draining some oil. And while that is draining, we can talk about the oil filter. And you can see the blue one right up there. It's actually right in the middle of the engine, you know, not really easily accessible from the bottom or from the top. And let's see how tight this thing is. For some reason, and I always hand tight my oil filters just like you should. And for some reason, it's always so tight to, you know, get it loose. I don't know if it's the heat that, you know, cooks it in there or what, but it's always a pain. Hopefully it'll be easy this time around. Yep, I may need a tool. Always a freaking struggle with these oil filters. I don't know why. And I'm using Bosch for my replacement filter. This is pretty much what I like to use whenever I can get a hold of it. I had an STP filter in there because last time it was what they had available at the auto parts, but I ordered this online. Amazon carries them now. 3421, even though it may not say it's for the E30, it does fit. So you can just get this for like $9. And I would normally pre-fill the filter. I do that with my STI, and you can do that on the E39, but not with this, which is sideways. It'll probably make a mess. I've never tried it. Maybe you can put a little bit. Let me know if you do in the comments below. I'm not gonna attempt it. I've never had an issue putting this empty. So I'm just gonna do it like that. And again, this should just really go hand tight. You don't need too much torque on this to make a good seal. And it would still be a pain to get it off the next time. So a quick check of the dipstick shows the level right where it should be actually. So what I'm gonna do is drop the car back down, start the engine, let it run for a little bit, fill up the oil filter and everything else, and then check this again and then fill it up as needed. You can definitely see now where the level is quite low, so I'm going to start filling it up with about another half quart. And that is pretty much where we want to be, slightly below the max fill line. Alright, so it was fun doing the oil change as usual. Now let's talk oil, which I'm sure is the main reason most of you are still watching. And my personal choice when it comes to the E30 with the M20 engine is the Valvoline Racing VR1 in 20W50, and this is a conventional oil. Also notice the high zinc label here. Now let me break this down for you and go through the reasons why I chose this oil specifically, and I'll start with the brand. Valvoline is a well-established name when it comes to motor oil. It is also readily available and easy to get. I can get this from Amazon, shipped to my door in about 2 days, and the price is really good as well. So we're talking less than $6 per quart on this one. Next up, and very important, would be viscosity, and I am not gonna get onto the science behind this number. You can go check out Jason Fensky at Engineering Explained for a much better video on that. All I'm going to say is that this should be pretty straightforward as long as you understand the range recommended by the manufacturer. And in this case, if we look at the Bentley service manual right here, you will see that I happen to be at the top of the range in Florida, where we deal with extreme heat year-round, and I am always above the 80-degree temperature here. So easy choice, 20W50 is what I use. I also chose conventional oil rather than synthetics, and for similar reasons of why I use 87 gas at the pump rather than the 93 that is available to me. This is a 30-plus-year-old car by now. These engines were designed to use conventional oil. Most likely throughout the engine life, previous owners use that type of oil, so I'm not about to start using synthetics at this point. Not only that, I don't need my oil to last me 15,000 miles or anything like that. In fact, I do my oil changes based on time because I don't put enough miles on this car to worry about mileage anyways. And last but not least, synthetics oil tend to be a little bit thinner, so when it comes to oil leaks, which are very common on these M20s, you have better luck with a conventional oil, let's put it that way. And the last thing would be what's spelled out here in the little yellow corner, high zinc contents, also known as ZDDP. And this is something I came to learn about fairly recently with the use of this car, in fact. And if you've ever done a valve adjustments on one of these engines, you can tell how that camshaft and the rockers interact. Well, apparently a lot of this movement just splashes and moves oil out of the way constantly, leaving some of these areas, I guess, a little bit dry, which can be over time harmful for your engine. So the zinc actually makes the oil more sticky. It allows for the oil to remain in place through more movement. So it's definitely better for these older engines. And those are all the reasons why this is my choice when it comes to oil. So if you are looking for recommendations and rather skip all of the research, or you have been reading through the vast amounts of information online and still haven't figured out what to use, then I highly recommend this. If you do use something else, let me know in the comments below. I would love to know what others are using on these engines. I hope you've enjoyed this video and maybe even learned something while watching. I will see you all on the next one. Peace.